Hey, family, welcome to the Hub. So, this is our first episode of a brand new year. Thank you for being with me. If you're brand new, please do make sure to hit me up, send me a DM at Inspire Many. Let me know that you're a new part of the crew, a part of the family. Shout out to all my wanted women. I believe that you are wanted. Women achieving new triumphs every day. So, you are wanted, honey. Now it's just to figure out who do you want. So recently I did a session on faith and dating. Um, and it just strummed up some good things, some good conversation within the Real Love Network that I thought that I'd share some of it here with you. Too often do we downplay our faith. We make it fluid. And for those of us who have strong faith and strong beliefs, it's so important for you to incorporate this in your dating life. Okay. Really, really, really important that you do this. And I'm definitely going to be talking about it in the upcoming dating boot camp that I'm doing. But when we start to talk about faith, what are some of the things that you should do? So for me, we all heard about Sierra's prayer. She had it all written down, but babe, prayer works, right? So number one, I want you to pray about it. How often have you taken the time to pray around your mindset when it comes to love? Love is a mindset, baby, right? Just because somebody's sexy or if they smile at you or if they share life does not mean that this will be the greatest relationship. And that really starts right in here, right? So I want you to pray about it. Yes, write that prayer out. Be specific in your prayer. Like who do you want to be? And how do you want to show up in the right relationship? What is that prayer? I want you to share your prayer with me, right? And for me, it's a daily prayer, right? Because sometimes we get that attitude, boo, right? We get a little stank with it, and we forget that the person standing in front of us is the person that we chose. So no matter where you are in your love journey, I want you to take a moment to pray. Let's get it. Right. So number two, talk about it. So if you're just in the dating phase, I want you to have a conversation. I recently had a conversation with one of our members, and she was saying that, hey, I'm dating a guy that's agnostic, and I'm a full Christian, right? And the other day he was going through something, and I just wanted to pray for him, and I didn't. And I felt weird about that because I wasn't being myself, right? So she ended up bringing that up to him, and he said, you know what? Next time, just pray and I'll see how I feel. What I commended her for was talking about it. You have to open up your mouth and share, like, hey, I respect you, but I also want to be myself. And this is what I want to do. She wanted to pray. And guess what? He was still open to it, right? So you have to be able to talk about your faith. If this is something that is at the center of who you are, if God is your thing, or Allah, or Hare Krishna, whatever it is, like what is your thing, right? And how are you explaining that or sharing that? And if you're totally lost, what are you open to, right? What are the things that guide you in this thing called life and having a conversation about? Be open about it, babe. Be open. Can y'all say open? Hashtag open. Be open about it. All right. Number three, choose a partner. Um, choose a partner that is in line with the same relationship you do. So if you are someone that values time in prayer, that values relationship with God, that values reading your Bible, you want to be with someone who is equally yoked, right? And all the variations of that. So wherever you are in your journey, right? Where are you in that journey? And you want to choose someone along the same lines. Yes, Essentially, if you're Muslim and she's Catholic, or she's Catholic and you're Jewish, it can work, but it's going to be a strife. It just is. Like every couple I know that's of different faiths, there's always some type of rift there. Okay. You could sign up for the rift if you want to, or you could say, okay, well, maybe I want to seek someone that's in line with who I am, right? So for instance, when I was seeking out my husband, he was seeking me, right? So a man findeth a wife, right? And I remember he was going through a really hard time. And I just watched what he did. Like, who did he turn to? Who do you run to? Who did he turn to? And a big part of that was he went on his knees and he turned to God, right? And he prayed and he sought counsel that was wise, not the liquor bottle, not some random dudes, not his mama, but God. And for me, that was a game changer. Just to see where he went in times of trouble, because there are some things we just gotta, in the Christian faith, you say you just gotta give it to God, because there's some things you just cannot fix, and you have to understand. And when you have that belief in a higher power, which my higher power is God, it just gives you that sense of everything's going to work out, right? Even though I don't know, like Dr. Martin Luther King says, take the first step, even though you can't see the entire staircase, even though you can't see everything, that there's something there called faith, right? Right? Substance of things not seen, evidence. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Y'all gonna have to Google it. I never get it right, but you get what I'm saying, right? So being able to take the time out to say, where is my faith? What is my faith? What do I believe in? And then sharing that with the person standing in front of you. And if they don't accept you, or if you don't accept them, maybe this isn't the relationship for you, right? Maybe this isn't the relationship for you, because the majority of you who listen to this are single professional women, right? So, as a single professional woman, you have the option right now to choose right. Now, if you listening to me and you married and you've been married for 20 years, y'all got to work that thing out. Just work it out. But if you are single, single as a dollar bill, now is the time to say, okay, well, I need to choose wisely. Let me listen into what Coach Cass is saying. Do I want to sign up for the struggle, or do I want to sign up for moving down the moving down the road of gold, the road that feels good, being able to dance every day? I'll tell you, being with my husband, who is of the same faith as me, has made it very easy in terms of making decisions in our household, right? When things go awry, when family members are sick, when when things are happening that are out of our control, it's just beautiful to come to a common place where we can speak from the same faith and turn to the same God and say, you know what, we need help, right? And yes, there's outside sources that we can call on, from coaches to services to that are in our network, but it's beautiful to come to the same place. So I ask you today, where is your faith? What is your faith? And how do you share that? Right? And being able to be vocal about it from the beginning, not in a stank way, because I tell you, some people consider themselves spiritual but not religious. I had a question in our session that said, well, on some of these dating profiles, Coach Cass, it said spiritual and not religious. Like, what does that mean exactly? Right? What does that mean exactly? Oftentimes, what that means is that when someone says they're spiritual and not religious, is that more than likely they had something happen in the church that turned them off from church, right? And I often remind people that the church is filled with people that are filled on the street, that are filled at the mall. It's all people, right? Just people striving to do better and have one same belief. Going to church doesn't make you any better than someone that sits on the couch, or being in the pulpit doesn't make you any better than someone that sits in the pew. It just means that you are striving to be Christ-like, right? And more than likely, something negative happened with them and religion of why they consider themselves spiritual. So if someone says, "Oh, I'm spiritual but not religious," it's always invite the conversation of, what does that mean, right? What does that mean to you? because it means something different to everyone. So just have that conversation. Now, if what they say doesn't sit right with you, I want you to lean into that and say, okay, well, am I all right with that? Right. So, for instance, I had a private client and she started dating a guy. She's Christian. She believes in God. She believes in marriage and she believes in God being in that marriage. And she went on like a group date with a group of friends. And, a friend asked him the question of, oh, so what do you think about marriage? And he says, ah, it's just a piece of paper. Right. And she heard that. She was in earshot and she heard that. And she went back to ask him the question of, oh, well, what did you mean by that? He said, oh, well, if you want to get married, I'll do it. But, it's just a piece of paper. Right. And I cautioned her to really think about, is this someone that's in line with what she wants in her life when it comes to marriage? Like, yeah, they have great chemistry. Yeah, he gets along with the friends. But at the end of the day, if he sees marriage as just a sheet of paper, that paper can be burned. That paper can sift off in the wind. That paper can be drowned. Like when you talk about a covenant before God, there's something a little bit more serious about that viewpoint. And you kind of want to be with someone that respects marriage the same way that you do, right? We understand crazy things can happen, but in the onset, what is your belief around marriage? What does that represent to you? That's another conversation. Now, I know some of you, I don't know where my love deck is. Some of you may have the love deck, but if you haven't picked up your copy, get the love deck. It's 60 questions around that I believe that you should ask before choosing the one. And it really just helps the conversation. It's a great game to play with friends, family, and that love interest, right? So definitely go to the website, inspiremany.com, hit store, and you can find out more about that. So hopefully this has helped you to just start to think about, where is my faith? When do I start talking about it? And the answer is now. And ask about it, not in an interrogative way, but how did you grow up? Like what was important to you and your family as you grew up? Was faith something that was important or was it to the wayside? And what does it look like now? Right? Very simple. Instead of saying, do you believe in Jesus? To know how your conversations go, ladies. So send me a DM, let me know, tag me on social media. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. This was just something quick to start off the year of, where is your faith? How are you sharing it? And are you really listening in when people speak? Because I remember I was dating a guy. I did ask that question, like, hey, do you believe in Jesus? And he said, yeah. But I didn't ask the follow up question of, who is Jesus to you? And it turned out like, yeah, he didn't believe in him as his savior. It was just like a guy that walked the earth. And I found that out later down the line, right? I was just like, dang it, this ain't it. Right. And I should have known that when I would go to church or want to go to church, and he'd always make plans during my church time, right? Always taking me away from the time that I spent with God, right? Or in relationship with, or just what I love in terms of going to church. So, just be very conscious of how you're flowing in the relationship or in the dating situation. Is this person bringing you closer to your faith? Are they pulling you away from your faith? And where does that sit with you? How do you feel with that? Things that make you go, hmm. All right. See you in the next episode, family. Much love, many blessings. Keep loving, keep laughing, keep living. Bye bye. Love you guys.